Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Pierre Paulin Vintage Sector Dial. I received this watch for free from the Merker official store on AliExpress. I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys know the deal by now. That's not going to sway my review one way or the other. The full retail price for this watch is about $115 US, but keep an eye out on the sales as Merker does participate in them, and they do offer pretty decent discounts on all of their watches. So yeah, just keep an eye out, especially in this 11/11 sale coming up. It should be a pretty good price on this watch, I think. So this watch is offered in two different colorways, the salmon dial you see here and also in silver. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a mineral crystal, a push-pull crown, screw-down case back, 50 meters of claimed water resistance. It comes on a nice leather suede strap, and it's powered by Merker's variation on the Chinese standard movement or Tanji movement, just with some added decoration and I think maybe another jewel in there. I'm not quite sure. They don't give too much detail on that, but it is a variation of the Chinese standard movement, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So it's a very eye-catching watch. It is a homage watch. But a pretty obscure homage watch, I think. And the colorway is great. And I mean, this thing just checks all the boxes that I expect to be checked from the Merker group. I've had quite a few of their watches, and I kind of know what to expect from them. Nice finishing, really cool crystals, nice designs, nice cases, especially really nice cases. This hand-winding movement, it's great. But as always, nothing is perfect, so I say we jump right into this review, doing a quick wrist check first. I've got the brand new, this is a 38mm Cadison. I can't remember the model number, but a review for this one will be coming up soon. But yeah, it's kind of cool. 38mm in this style of watch. I like it. I dig it. All right, let's get to the dimensions. Got a case diameter of 38.4. Thickness is 12.7mm. Got 20mm lug width. The lug tip to lug tip is 46.7mm. And on the supplied leather strap, it weighs about 65 grams. So the dimensions on this thing are really nice. I'm really starting to love this 38mm case. I like it a lot. I do like it a lot. You got a decent turn down to those lugs. I mean, it's fairly flat, but it's a very thin mid case, as you can see there. So, I mean, it sits right down on your wrist, and I think it looks really good. So I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on mine. And here we are on my 7.5-inch wrist, and as you can see, I think it wears great. I mean, just a really nice size on this thing. Got some decent, I mean, the case is a little bit flat, but very thin appearing just because of the thin mid case. Got lots and lots of different steps on that bezel, and then that crystal just looks awesome. I think this thing wears really nice. It's very comfortable. The strap is good, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And yeah, I think it looks good. What do you guys think? Here we are out in some direct sunlight, and that looks really, really good. I just love the color on this dial. I think it looks great. Kind of see some different textures going on there. You do have the blued hands, which we'll talk about. And yeah, I think it looks good. The crystal, really nice. No AR coating, but you know, mineral crystal doesn't really need it as bad as sapphire does. So very happy with the way this thing looks in direct sunlight. And yeah, let's go throw it on some straps and let's get back to this review. And here we are on a Milanese mesh. Just wanted to give you a little quick close-up there. I think that looks, it looks all right. It's not my favorite. No polishing on the case, so this doesn't look as good as I had hoped it would. But people say it's a dress watch, so I figured I'd throw the strap on it just for fun. And here we are on a kind of a distressed brown leather strap, 2-stitch. This is down below, listed as a 2-stitch strap. And yeah, it works all right. Really not my favorite combo. These salmon dials are really hard to pair color-wise, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. What color goes best with a salmon dial. And here we are, same strap, just in black. I think that does look a little bit better than the brown, personally. That's just me. Alright, I'm going to go throw it on one last strap. And it's just for fun. Just a 2-layer nylon strap, but yeah. And lastly, here we are on a nylon, seatbelt nylon, 2 layers underneath it there. And as you can see, it looks pretty good still. This case is pretty thin in the mid case, so I think it consistently looks pretty low profile, even though it's, you know, 12.7 thick or 12.3 thick, whatever it was. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be that thick, even with 2 layers underneath. I still think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to the review. All right, so let's get close. We'll talk about the case finishing on this thing. So the case is fully brushed, and it's a little bit unusual for a watch like this. I think the dial is a little bit dressy. I know Pierre Paulin, it's Merker's kind of more dressy line of watches. And so I was a little surprised to see that there's no polishing on this whatsoever. But I think the case finishing is done really, really good. So you have a circular brushing on the tops of the lugs here. Really nicely done. The bezel on this thing is really interesting. It's almost like a 3-step up to the crystal, as you can see right here. You get 1 step up and then another step up and then to the crystal. It's a really interesting case design. It does look really nice, and I think the finishing, getting real close here, you can see the finishing. I mean, it's done really good. I see no issues with the finishing on the bezel. Flipping it to the case sides here, you can see you do have drilled lugs, which is a nice bonus. Not that you really need it on this because it does come with quick release pins, but still a nice option to have. But really nice horizontal brushing, as you would expect from Merker. I mean, they do a really good job with case finishing. Flipping it over to the crown side here, same thing, horizontal brushing. But then you got this really nice big, you do have a polished crown with the Merker logo that is an M. You can kind of see the M logo in there a little bit. But really nice big kind of onion style crown. Really happy with that crown. Plenty of grip. Nice etching on the signed logo there. But yeah, I see no real issues with the case finishing, except I don't even know if it's going to show up here. It's a very minor thing, but kind of where the circular brushing on the tops of the lugs meets the lug tips here, it's definitely not showing up on camera. It just looks a little funny. It doesn't look uniform from the tops to the ends of the lugs. There's kind of a spot where it's not quite uniform. But again, it's a very minor issue in my opinion. But overall, I think the case finishing is really nice. Flipping it over to the case back here, you have a circular brushing on the bottom of the lugs, and then that carries to the case back as well. Circular brushed with this really cool line in there. Designed and made Merker Watch Group, and got some, looks like some coordinates there for their location. It looks really good. Pretty cool. I'm not really sure where the line comes into play, but it's nicely done. It's nice and smooth. It's not rough or anything like that. Very comfortable. And yeah, simple notches here to get a tool in there if you ever want to mess with the movement. Overall, though, very comfortable case. I love the profile of it here. I mean, that just looks really, really good. All right, let's test this thing for sapphire. And it fails the test, which is not a surprise because this was listed as K1 mineral. And I mean, it's a nice crystal. I do wish it was sapphire, or even I'd accept acrylic over this. The problem with mineral is that when it scratches, you can't do anything about it. You have that scratch and it's going to be there forever. With acrylic, you can use some polywatch and clean it up, and sapphire probably wouldn't scratch. So yeah, that's my big issue with the crystal. Otherwise, it's a beautiful crystal, just absolutely gorgeous. You can see here, really nicely domed, beautiful dome, lots of distortion on the edges, and really nice and clear. I mean, the mineral crystal does have better natural anti-reflective coating. Sapphire is very reflective in nature. Mineral crystal is not as much. So yeah, it doesn't have any AR coating, and I don't think it needs it. But I definitely would prefer to see this with acrylic or sapphire. All right, so let's talk about the dial on this thing. And the dial is really, really nice. Very happy with the dial. Nice and clean printing as well. You see the numerals 12, 3, 6, and 9. The 6 o'clock is cut off by the 6 o'clock subdial. But then you've got the Pierre Paulin, and I believe that is Levier, which hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct, is French for levitate or lift up. I'm not really sure why they felt the need to put that there, but it's there. It doesn't look bad, but it's kind of one of those things where you just don't need it on the dial, so why put it on the dial? Down here at the 6 o'clock area, you have HR. Again, not sure what that is, but it is there, and it's so minor that you never really notice it. But otherwise, I think the dial looks really good. I love the color of it. Very cool color. You have this circular brushed ring where the numerals live, and then you've kind of got this almost like a shimmery effect to the inner dial. It looks really good. You can see here really nicely the blued hands. They are awesome skeletonized hands. They're a little short for my taste. I know why they kind of did that, but they could definitely bring that minute hand right out to the minute track. The hour hand could reach out past that inner ring there, and I think it would look much better. Same with that second hand. I don't know why they refuse to put long hands on their watches, but that second hand is short. Why not just bring it out an extra 2 millimeters and call it good? I'm not really sure why they did that, but otherwise I think the dial is really nicely done. The circular brushing and then the kind of the concentric rings on that sub dial, they all play really nicely with the light, and I think it looks great. Yeah, so let's talk about the movement in this thing. So I'm going to pop up the time grapher shot here, and you can see it's running pretty good. I don't know how that equals 1 second a day, but it has been pretty accurate for me over the last week. And yeah, I've got no real issues with this watch, this movement. It is a variation of the Chinese standard movement, which has been around for just forever, or the Tanji movement. It's been around for a really long time, so the reliability should be pretty good, I think. But yeah, this is just kind of like an upgraded version from Merkur. I think it's better finished, and there might be another jewel in there. I don't really remember. I don't know too much about the movement. So if somebody does know a lot about this movement, drop it down below. But I think it's been, in my experience, this is my third one. It's a very nice movement to use. The hand winding is really nice and satisfying. It does tighten up pretty good, so you know when to stop winding it. The power reserve, I believe, is like 35 hours or something like that. So it's pretty typical. You wind it every day or every other day, and it's fine. It works good. In my experience, they've been accurate. They've been reliable, and they keep the nice thin case profile as well. I've got no real issues with it. Push-pull crown here, again, signed with that Merkur logo. Good grip on that as well. But yeah, this is where you set the time. It doesn't hack, as you can see right there. That second hand's still running. But this is the time setting position. Really nice solid feedback through the crown. Really solid crown action there. The hands, they don't jump when you set it in. So I've got no issues with the movement, and I hope they keep using it. I think it's a really cool and unique movement, and I like it. So let's talk about the strap on this thing. So one of the best straps I've had on an AliExpress watch. I'm just going to come out and say it. Really nice, just super soft and flexible, very comfortable right out of the box. It's a suede material. You have color match stitching on the top here. The length is really good. I'm kind of right in the middle for my 7.5 inch wrist. You've got one floating keeper, one stationary keeper. All the stitching is done really good. I've got no issues with the stitching. The buckle is a fully polished buckle. It does have the Merkur Watch Group or Watch Corp. No, it does have the Merkur Watch Group logo in it. So yeah, really nicely signed buckle. I do kind of wish they would match this with a brushed buckle, but I can't fault them too much. It's a nice solid buckle. It feels good. It looks good. Yeah, I've got no issues. Flipping it over here, you do have Merkur branding. You also have genuine leather over here. Again, really nice and comfortable on the underside, and quick release pins. Yeah, they kind of sold it with those quick release pins. It's a great strap. Very, very happy with the strap. So there you go, guys. That is the Merkur sector dial. They don't really have model numbers or anything like that. So if you are interested in this, I'll be leaving a link down below. Go check it out, especially during the 11/11 sale. I think this thing will be on a pretty decent sale. And yeah, I mean, it's a great looking watch. Really, really unique. I think it looks really cool. I've actually gotten compliments on it. And yeah, I think it's worthy of a collection, definitely. Really interesting, unique, and it looks great. And, you know, Merkur, they know how to make watches. They do a really good job. It's a very solid feeling watch. So yeah, I say if you like the style of it, go for it. Let me know what you guys think of this one. I think that's about it, though, for me. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.